Hello and welcome to my channel, the Grape Jelly Library, where we love to talk about books. My name is Flossie. Thank you for joining me. I always look forward to your visit. Okay, guess what? Recently, I have taken myself to Starbucks and I didn't know what to order, so I thought maybe I'll try a hazelnut oat milk shaken espresso. Well, my first sip was it was very, very strong. My second sip, pure heavenly joy. And so now I find myself wanting one on a daily basis. And I feel like I have to have one or I'm going to turn into a Nightbitch. The book that I just finished reading. So let me just tell you where I stand with this espresso. Okay, so like when I get out of work, I go to Starbucks and I get one, and then I come home and I sit at my table and I put on some lights for ambiance, amber lights at that, and I sit at my table and I burn some Nag Champa in my little cylinder. It's the Tree of Life. And then I also burn an incense stick for luck, and I sit there and I read and I drink my espresso, and I think that I am the biggest hotshot this side of town. No one can touch me because I am doing what makes me happy, and you know what? I'm pretty happy doing it. Okay, so let me tell you about this book that was almost as weird as the first sip of my espresso. You know, hand in hand, because like I said, when I first tried that, like. The second sip, absolutely loving it. Need one every day. Okay, so I wanted to read this book for the longest time. Never got around to it. So let's do it. All right, so I'm thinking, you know what, this is going to be great. This is going to be so fun. Started reading it and I need my fiction to be somewhat believable. And let's just face it, a mom, a housewife that turns into a dog, that's not very believable. But I thought about it. Back in the day, I remember going to the movies to see The Incredible Shrinking Woman. And that was just fine. Like, that was believable and that was entertaining and that was good for me. So I kind of adapted that sort of mind frame and told myself, don't be so square in the box. Free your mind, open it up a little bit. And then I did just fine with this book. This book made me laugh out loud several times. This is the story about an author that does not like to give her characters names, but it's okay. We're still able to identify who is who. We have father, we have baby, we have Nightbitch. Nightbitch is the mother who's turning into a dog. Prior to her turning into a dog, she had a career in the art industry. She worked in a museum. And her and her husband decided they were going to have a baby, and they did. And then she decided she was going to be a working mom. The baby would go to a nursery and she would do her thing, until she discovered that at this nursery daycare type of thing, they were letting the baby sleep on this dirty floor and cry for the major part of her day. His day. The baby is a boy. Okay, so that really tugged at the heartstrings of the mom, and she wasn't having it. So she decided she was going to quit her job and be a stay-at-home mom. Quite different than working, in the business industry of art. So now it's Legos and Play-Doh and dry cereal and yogurt and that kind of thing. But the thing about this relationship between mother and son is it's quite comical. When the mother discovers that she has a patch of fur on the back of her neck, things start to take a turn and start to get kind of funny. We have a scene where the mother likes to take her son to the local playground. And boy, did this part make me laugh. When she's playing with her son on the sliding board and there are kids running all about and parents lingering, you know, on the sidelines, and she doesn't really care. She gets these instincts to act like a dog, and she really throws herself into that role. She has her son wanting to play doggy all the time, and at first she was reserved and said, no, we can't do that all the time. And then she just came to the conclusion, you know what, why the heck not? Who cares what other people think? So they're at the playground, and the mom is running around barking, arfing, chasing the other kids just like a dog would do, doing everything that a dog would do. And it made me really laugh out loud because I can picture this woman doing all of these things, and what a sight that would have been. By the way, Rachel writes in a way where everything is very vivid in your mind. You will have no problem whatsoever bringing this book to life in your imagination. All right, so another part that made me laugh out loud is she decided that she was going to become a part of this clique that is low-key harassing her to join up with their forces in a business endeavor. And she keeps trying to run away from that, but then she thought, you know, it'll be good to do something with the other moms. And I did go to school with them, so I do know two of them, and it's just going to be fine. So she goes out to dinner with them, and then they discover that she, you know, because she's a stay-at-home mom, and they do have children, but they are still working in the art field. Therefore, Nightbitch, the mom, and her two associates, well, not associates, but her two friends that she went to school with, they have nothing in common. And they discover Nightbitch has nothing to really bring to the table, so they start excluding her from the conversation. Not in an ill-willed manner, or not to be rude, simply because there is nothing that she can contribute to this conversation. So Nightbitch goes inside of her head and she starts thinking, and what she starts thinking really made me laugh again. And then you know how we're thinking, well, we're inadequate, or we're not good enough for the people that we're with right now. And she's hurt. She's really hurt. So she stands up and she just tips that table, and that made me laugh out loud too. So I'm going to stop there with the book. I know you want to know more. Well, I'll tell you this. I started off this book like my espresso, you know, and then all of a sudden, as I started to read more and more, I started to get more and more into it. Then I couldn't wait to get home to drink my espresso and read my book and just be the hotshot that I am in my own kitchen. Now, do I think you should read this book? Yes. You know what? I'm thinking, what kind of a star rating am I going to give this book? I'm going to give it a star rating of 5 because I think it is that good. You have to listen to what I'm saying. It doesn't start off like that, but as the wheels of this story start to turn, it starts getting better and better, and it just sucks you in, and you know, you don't want to do anything, and you don't want to know anyone except for read Nightbitch and know who Nightbitch is. This is a fabulous book. It took the turn that I so needed. Okay, so now I wanted to ask you, which book should I read next? Should I read Bird Milk and Mosquito Bones, or should I read Women's Hotel by Daniel M. Lavey? And Bird Milk and Mosquito Bones is by Priyanka Matteo. Okay, so I'll tell you a little bit about them really quick. Priyanka Matteo was born in a wooden house in the Himalayas, as were most of her ancestors. In 1989, however, mounting violence in the region forced Matteo's community to flee. The home into which her family poured their dreams was reduced to a pile of rubble. Matteo never moved back to her beloved Kashmir because it no longer existed. She and her family just kept packing and unpacking and moving on. In 40 years, Matteo accumulated 32 different addresses, and she chronicles her nomadic existence with wit, wisdom, and an inimitable eye for light within the darkest moments. She takes us from her grandparents' home in Srinagar, where her boisterous aunties raced through the halls, to Saudi Arabia, where her friendships were gained and lost behind the sandstone walls of a foreigner's compound. We witness her courtship with a nice Jewish boy, now her husband, and her efforts to replicate her mother's Rogan Josh recipe via Zoom. And we are with her as she settles into her unlikely new homeland, Los Angeles. Okay, that one? Or should I read this son of a gun, Women's Hotel by Daniel M. Lavey? The Biedermeier Hotel can no longer afford the continental breakfast its residents have depended upon since 1929. Mrs. Mosler, the hotel director, has already cut lunch service and reduced dinner to a self-serve buffet, and someone has almost certainly stolen her pinking shares. Residents Catherine, Lucianne, Pauline, Kitty, Gia, Patricia, and Carol, along with Stephen, the daytime elevator operator, must decide whether to meet this crisis by practicing economy, cooperation, or theft. So far, theft is winning. Let me tell you a little bit about these characters. There's Catherine, the first floor manager, lightly cynical and more than lightly suggestible. Lucianne, a work-shy party girl caught between the love of comfort and an instinctive bridling at convention. Kitty, the sponger, Ruth, the failed hairdresser, Pauline, the typesetter, and there's Stephen, the daytime elevator operator and part-time Cooper Union student. So which one should I read? Comment below and let me know. Now we part ways, but not before I tell you that I love you. I'm always thinking of you, and I need to give you some words of wisdom. So here we go. It's never too late. You can change your routine, your personality, your career, your focus, your circle. You can change. Don't stay stuck. Do better. Toodles.